I'm joined by Mr. Dilip Mehta, who used to work for Pegasus Shipping and is now working to encourage or promote tourism from India to Latin America. But there's more to his introduction. He's also one of those very few people or survivors who have seen the attacks of 26/11 happen very closely. And why are we talking to him? Is because of a major development that has taken place in the courts of the United States of America, where Tahawwur Rana's plea, to avoid his extradition to India has been denied by the top court in the United States of America. So, we'll have a lot to talk about it. Firstly, tell me, how much have you been following the case of Tahawwur Rana, and what are your feelings, when you read the news like the US court being very adamant about sending him back to India?
Yes, firstly, I must tell you that I have been seriously pursuing of his extradition to India. He is one of the main culprits who mastermind the terror attack of 26/11 Taj, and I am very fortunate to be in my second life here talking to you and trying to explain about how this huge development makes a lot of difference to me in my personal life. So I would say that August 23, the High Court was hearing the case and could not eventually decide at that time. But now the Supreme Court in the US federal government has decided to extradite him from US to India. And now Tahawwur Rana doesn't have any remedy but to come to India and face a serious trial by our government here. So as an Indian and as a victim and hostage of 26/11, this is considered by me as a huge development, and I shall continue to pursue this development as we go along from here.
So we saw that when these attacks happened, there were a dozen of names that were floating around, but slowly as the time passed by, we knew that there were more people involved in this than what met the eye, right? And many of those who are also known as handlers who were staying away. How much have you been following all of their details from 2008? Because I'm assuming that it may not have been the easiest time for you right after the attack, so you might have chosen to stay away from the news. But how adamantly or how closely have you been following the details of, say, people like David Headley, of all the other people involved in this particular matter?
Yes, I have been consistently following. I know the historian background of David Headley itself, who was also a kind of acting in the particular assistant to Tahawwur Rana, and who had done the recce here in India just before the attack. So both these perpetrators have to be certainly booked, and Headley has got his own way up a few years ago, and now is the turn of Tahawwur Rana, who has to face the trial. And I won't be surprised if a capital punishment is declared awarded to him. But such people, India has to set example of getting these people. Has done a lot of work, I'm sure, in the past, and sorry, I am certainly pursuing it as the hostage and victim, and I can never forget in my life 26/11.
I got to ask you this, although I know it might be a little difficult for you to answer, but could you, for us, revisit that particular day and tell us what you were up to on 26/11/2008, and how did that day went like for you, very briefly?
It's honestly, I do become emotional at times by talking about 26/11, but that fateful day, the elevator which took me up on the 19th floor of Taj Mahal Hotel, Mumbai, I never imagined in my life that elevator will not be available to me to come down, and precisely at 9:40, when we were wanting to come down, the security of the hotel, who did great work, I must compliment about the security arrangements and the dedication and devotion by Taj Mahal staff, everybody. We were not allowed to go down because we were told there is some gang war on the ground floor and it's not advisable for us to go down. But within about 20 minutes, it became loud and clear, and it spread like a wildfire that it is not any gang war, but it is the terror attack by some 10 terrorists who have come to Mumbai, which is the financial capital of India, and they wanted to disrupt our economy and then create an image of India around the world. This was not anyway acceptable to us. Everybody tried very hard to escape. Some 166 people overall lost their lives, but we could manage to survive and escape after 8 hours and walk down in the dark, and there was no light, there was no power. We could barely see coming down the stairs. All of us, those who were up there, managed to come down after half an hour walk with a fervent hope and pray that the terrorists do not come through the staircase up there. So it is truly an emotional situation, I reckon. But overall, if you ask me, at the end of the day, our government has done great work in booking these perpetrators, and it is a very clear-cut signal to Pakistan that India is very strong, and we should not be taken for granted at all. Pakistan should be absolutely loud and clear that we Indian mean a lot for their citizen.
Mr. Dilip Mehta is not mincing his words here while talking about how it has been like for him and probably for 100 others who are living across the country, across the world, and have seen these attacks very closely. But on a positive side, he's optimistic of actions being taken not just against one or two individuals, but against as many people who were involved in the attacks of 26/11. With senior camera person Rajendra Dayarkar, this is Anuj Raith reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.